Now tuning in to Earbud Media. Audio for everyone.
Hello. How are you?
We're here. I'm good. I'm vibing. I'm living my best life. My happy thing, I kind of spoiled it a little bit on our call before.
It's okay. I don't remember anything.
But my happy thing is I invested in nice fancy headphones.
I'm so proud of you.
I'm kind of live, laugh, loving right now, my life. For a while, I have been an earbud kind of person. I like wires. I don't love Bluetooth. I've never been an AirPod binge. I do the classic whatever Apple the fuck gives you out the box that I've had for however many years, and then I have one for my computer because it doesn't have a lightning port, so those are my go-tos.
Same, okay.
But back when I was in high school, I really loved big over-ear headphones because I thought they made me look cool, and also they were very comfortable.
Right.
And it's a vibe, right? And I was like, you know what? It's been a while. My microphone quality is not as good, but I also don't want to be an AirPod binge because I will lose them. I know myself, okay?
Sure,
I can't keep track of them. They're tiny. I can't do it. And so I was like, fuck it. There has to be some sort of aesthetically cool, but also compromise of what I want here in 2022. It turns out there is.
Oh.
I got these over-ear headphones. They are Bluetooth, but they also have a wire in it, so you can plug it into your computer if you want to.
Hell
which is perfect for me. And they're yellow, which is cute.
Easy to
they
find.
kind of give me a Pooh Bear energy, which I appreciate. And they also have a mic in them, and not in a way that's invasive, like a fucking gamer mic. It's just chill.
Gamer mic.
Because I fucking had Razer headphones in high school because I was an asshole. I had white, huge, they're way too big for my head, Razer headphones with a mic that would extend out if I wanted to. This is my personality for the next, however many months of my life.
Good.
And I'm very excited about it.
You sound great.
So this is my new era. Welcome.
It is so hard to buy any sort of technology, but I find especially headphones online.
Literally. It's so bad. Because also, most of the over-ear headphones now are on-ear headphones. And first of all, fuck on-ear headphones. What the fuck is up with that? Who wants that? I want my ears encased. I don't want them sitting on something uncomfortably.
Exactly.
For hours a day. Fuck you. What?
What I really miss is, and these were, fucked up to begin with, but what I really miss is going to somewhere like Best Buy.
Mm-hmm.
And I just want to be able to touch it and see it and compare it. And I know that this is sounding really boomer of me.
Back in my day.
When it was safe to go into stores.
Yeah.
But even then, I'm saying this while also realizing that, I used to hate going into Best Buy because you'd be swarmed by, sweaty teenage dudes that'd be
It's the lush of tech stores, yeah.
I found every time that I've tried to buy technology online, it's is there a way to, Warby Parker this? Can you send it to me?
Just, give me a sampler pack.
Right. Because especially with something over-the-ear headphones, right? I need to know what the sensory experience is like. I need to put it on my head and know, does this actually, you say this is the most comfortable design you've ever made. But, your marketing team came up, your comms team came up with that.
I don't believe you.
I don't believe you. I want to be able to touch it and know that I'm not going to get the ick from this.
Right.
Anyway, that was my boomer time allotment for today, so.
No, I think that's a very valid boomer opinion to have. Sometimes physical store is good, when they're not harbingers of disease, good, useful,
Helpful, even.
Helpful, very, yeah. So I'm living my best life with these, living, laughing, loving. How are you doing, my friend?
I'm melting.
Yeah. Big popsicle energy right here.
Yes.
You know?
Yes. This week has been unofficially sponsored by Gatorade.
Yes.
Gatorade and popsicles. Other than that, I am okay. I need a new show. Maybe Love Island will do that for me. And then I was like, it's getting closer. I want British because I'm watching Love Island UK, obviously.
Obviously. Yeah.
I want that accent, but it's not actually like real love. That's they're not getting into it for the right reasons.
Right.
So I did unfortunately start. This is my confession. I have restarted watching Doctor Who.
Oh.
So
I was wondering which would be the first of us to crack to rewatch. To be honest,
I never
since
left.
we've known it. I know, but we have storied histories on the internet about
just
this
because
program.
I left Tumblr does not mean that Super Huluk ever left me. Right?
Right, that's true. You literally have Super Huluk tattoos on your body.
Absolutely,
so like
shut the fuck up. You cannot just say that out loud.
This is public record. What are you talking about?
But it doesn't mean it doesn't
Listen,
hurt, you know?
Listen, sometimes maybe this is my boomer opinion, maybe if you get something permanently tattooed on your body, you have to live with that forever.
Listen, all I'm saying is that when it's actually safe enough to do so, which might be forever,
right,
there are things that are going to be covered up. It's just that keeps being extended.
Yeah, you're so right for that. How's your rewatch been? Because I've been morbidly curious, because I do have a penchant for pain. You know what I mean? Like,
hi, welcome to Into the Penchant for Pain.
Yeah.
It's so, Cody.
Yes.
I'm in so much pain.
Yeah.
It's so good, unfortunately. There are a lot of things that I didn't remember, primarily because when I was a teenager, there's a lot of things about my life that I don't remember. Just trauma things.
Yeah, sure, right. Just girly things.
But there's also things that I can't forget about Doctor Who, just because I've, seen so many gift sets in my life, right? That it's hard to forget.
They're burning my corneas, at this point.
I am more than halfway through 10's lifespan at this time.
Okay.
Here's the thing. When I was younger, 9 was not my thing. I was like, I don't get this. Yeah. I don't get it. Right. I like him a lot more now. I still, however, am a slut for David Tennant, which is unfortunate.
I mean, it never goes away,
It's only gotten stronger, which is painful.
Yeah. He's too charming. It's fucked up.
Here's the thing, though, and this is definitely how I can tell that I haven't seen this in over a decade. I did not remember that Rose was with the Doctor from when she was like 19 to 20.
Yeah, oof.
Like a literal child.
Right.
And I think it's probably because she was wearing so much fucking mascara that I was like, she has to be.
You couldn't tell,
age.
right? Her eyelashes were just so perfect. You were like, this is an adult woman.
Can you imagine trying to put mascara on in the fucking TARDIS? There's no way.
No, absolutely
Anyways, so it's been incredibly painful. It's also, I'm glad that I'm getting more towards like 2010 so that the quality, like the actual green screens is going to get a lot better. Anyways, I feel like I'm literally in high school again, as I talk about Doctor Who on a Twilight podcast, so I'm gonna stop. So we have a little bit of news about the Vampire Academy Peacock show.
We do.
And it's shocking.
Incredibly shocking.
I'm confusion about this. I'm curious to see if Rochelle will actually speak out. Could you tell us a little bit about this news?
Yeah, so we know this show is coming up quite soon now at this point. We're very excited. We've been very excited for this.
Like a month and a half when this is released.
And now it has been revealed that Rochelle Mead, our very own Ferrero Rocher, is not involved in the show at all, basically. And that the creators are, like, excited for her to see it and have been, like, quote-unquote respectful to the books. But the fact that she was not in the room at all is question mark. You know what I mean? Like, because from my understanding, obviously was pretty involved in the movie, right? And, like, had, like, writing credits and, like, was obviously in there in some capacity. And this show, which is, like, the first adaptation of the show since then, it's been several years since then. Right. And it seems like, you know, got some buzz to it, even though, like, not a lot of people besides us watch Peacock, you know, like, besides that, like, there's investment being made into this. Yes. And the fact that she's not there is bananas. It's tea. What happened? What's going on?
Yeah, I wonder what happened here. I want to hear Rochelle's side of this, like, what made it so that she was not involved in this, what happened here. The other thing that I didn't realize, and this is from this Barhead News piece.
Barhead. My favorite website.
These two producers, Julie Plec and Marguerite McIntyre, previously worked together on the Vampire Diaries, which explains to me why, when we watched that trailer, I was like, this is very Rain.
Right,
this is
so
very
period CW, yeah.
So, I remember, I think it was a couple weeks ago, that I had sent you this.
Yes.
Because I was shocked. I was shocked out of my gourd.
Yeah, flabbergasted.
And I didn't believe it. So, apparently, and thank you, Cinema Blend, for this piece. And I know that this sounds AI generated, but just stick with me here for a second. Netflix is releasing a piece called Day Shift, and it has Jamie Foxx and Snoop Dogg.
Okay.
Together. Here's the log line here. So Jamie Foxx is playing Bud Jablonski, a professional vampire hunter.
Sure.
Who's in need of some serious money. Unfortunately, he and the official union for vamp blasting kind of parted ways on some less than friendly terms, thanks to Bud being a bit of a bad cop when it comes to his job. Seeing as that's where the big money's at, he teams up with his friend, Big John Elliott, who's played by Snoop Dogg, and a very skittish newbie, Dave Franco, to get his cred back and save the day. Who keeps keeping us out of the writer's room?
Right. I got a bone to pick. I have several bones to pick with Netflix specifically for many different reasons. Netflix specifically yes. For various reasons, obviously. But first and foremost, we've been here. Hello?
Right.
Do you need vampire adjacent experts? Hello?
Here's what I'm going to say.
We're funny. We're cool. We have a history of pop culture vampirism. You know?
I agree.
Like, some of us get horny about the Count. You know? Like, we're robust for your room.
Exactly. And I think that's the thing, right? Is that they need experts in the room to recognize what they are missing.
Right.
And if they had had us in the room, they would know that Jamie Foxx, fine choice.
Sure.
That's great.
Sure.
Snoop Dogg, great. Fine choice. Where they went wrong, obviously, is Dave Franco.
Yeah.
And if they'd had us in the room, they would know that it has to be Guy Fieri.
Fuck.
Because everyone knows
yeah.
that an Italian is what keeps vampires away. He's got the garlic in his blood.
Right. It's the clear choice here.
That's the Holy Trinity. Netflix, you're missing out. It's not Dave Franco. You fools.
You absolute fools. We could have had a Guy Fieri vampire movie, but you blew it. And if we were there, maybe things would have been different. That's all I'm saying.
I just think that it's going to be fine, but it could have been better.
Right. It could have been great. It could have been Citizen Kane. You know? Like...
It could have been what they keep saying, which is John Wick. And it's not going to be that because Dave Franco's in it.
Right. Yeah. Do you think Dave Franco's going to commandeer himself into a John Wick style role? Are you kidding me?
And Hollywood, we have one more last bone. We have another bone to pick. But I'm going to let Cody take this one.
Yes. We have... This comes from...
George Strait.
It's right. So
No, George is straight. Hold
on. This piece is called, or this publication is called The Georgia Strait, but because of the way the text is interloped on this website, it just says straight in very large letters, which does feel like a hate crime. I know it's not Pride Month anymore, but, like, spiritually, it does feel like a little bit of an attack.
Yeah, it's kind of intimidating.
But outside of that, obvious hate crime. They did provide us some news, which is that we are getting a biopic about Amy Winehouse, directed with 50 Shades of Grey's own Sam Taylor Johnson at the helm.
This is a real roll of the dice here.
Yes.
I'm really confused by this pick. I love Amy Winehouse.
Yes.
And I'm nervous the way that biopics are going as of late.
Yes.
Theoretically, don't hate Sam Taylor Johnson. However,
right.
Could you say to the class what we discussed previously about Sam Taylor Johnson and how she portrays women?
Right. Like, I have no bone to pick with her specifically. Right? Like, 50 Shades of Grey movies were wild. Also, kind of enjoyable sometimes. Sometimes incredibly not, you know? But in the way, like, the source material, we know, we have bones to pick with all of that, right? I do feel, though, in the case of Amy Winehouse, who is a very respected but complicated woman and, like, public figure, had a lot of shit go on in her life, a lot of which was fully, like, aggrandized from the media of the time, especially of her death. I don't feel super comfortable in the hands that created the visual representations of workplace abuse and like meek
fake Seattle
women, you know, in the way that's like girl boss, right? But it's like, God, you know, I will have to see more, obviously, from this, especially in terms of like casting or writing credits or any sort of thing, or like if there's permission from the estate or like whatever, any sort of things. Obviously biopics are like super complicated and have like a lot of things going on with them. I'm also like very biopic fatigued personally, even though I love Amy Winehouse and like I think she has a very obviously interesting and compounding story to tell in a fictional, semi-fictional way, whatever. But I am just like cautious, you know, about how this is going to talk about any of those things in a real way.
I 100% agree. I also think that to choose Sam Taylor Johnson, like of all the people from the 50 Shades series to pick someone from the music team.
Right. Yeah.
Who notably, like when people think of 50 Shades, they think of the soundtrack.
The banger soundtrack, yeah.
And I think that if you're going to do this biopic, which right now it seems to be titled Back to Black, there's got to be so much sensitivity around her story and getting that permission from the estate.
Yeah.
But also, there's so much of what the public knows about Amy is her voice and her music.
Right.
And to not get that on the crew from the start of ensuring that this is going to be like a sonically pleasing
experience, right? Yeah.
Feels disrespectful to the work that we have of hers.
Right. Correct.
Like, what the fuck? So yeah, I agree. I think that there's not a lot of information that we have, but I'm curious. Yeah, I guess.
Certainly.
So, when we had left off.
Oh my god.
There was a lot of pain in the space.
Yes.
I remember Rose finally coming to and realizing like, oh, I need to get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
Ferrero Rocher was like, I'm gonna finally let Rose remember that she is a badass and that she needs to escape. Mm-hmm. And notably, realizing the person that she loved is not the person who she is being held by. Correct. Yeah. And then, last but very least, she did do a little bit of stabbing.
She did do a hit.
She did do a critical hit to Dimitri.
Yeah. I will say, too, before we get started, because we like to do little content warnings and stuff here for everyone's safety and stuff. If any of the themes of the last episode, specifically like entrapment or being a prisoner of a man. Like, and especially later in the episode, in the later chapter, if there are things of suicide, like, just feel free to skip.
Yeah, this one is...
These chapters get as dark as they were and a little bit darker later on. So those are just things out in the open. If that's not for you, you can skip. And that's okay, you know? And we love you. And we'll see you next time. Hopefully it will be less dramatic this time around.
Yeah, knowing Ferrero, I have a feeling this back half of the book is going to stay this dark.
Yeah.
But we love you, and we'll see
you. Right. So, chapter 25. Post-critical hit. Rose stabs Dimitri with the stake. It's not like a stake. It's like the thing of the chair, like the chair leg that she like kind of whittled down a little bit. So it's not like as powerful as like a true silver stake. But she does hit him, which is crucial. And catches him off guard. And immediately he is like, you know, he's in shock. You can feel...
I didn't think you'd actually hit me.
Right, like you can feel that there's actually a sense of like, what the fuck is going on? Oh shit. He kind of like drops to the floor, basically. Like, he's not dead, obviously, because it's not like a silver stake, but she does like incapacitate him enough to be like, okay, I have it's
gonna take a while.
I have time to at least carry out some sort of a mission, right?
Right.
And this chapter, and even some of the next chapter, is like what I love about Ferrero Rocher, and like how she does writing about like combat, but also just like the Bella Swan planning mindset that is Rose, right?
Yes.
Of the girl boss, you know, figuring out a way out, the final girl era kind of energy here. It's delicious to read because like she's very good at like creating a space and like has built a space of obviously confinement and scarcity and very so much terror, and now this is the chance to figure it out and get out of here. Right.
I agree. And I think that the fact that she mentions, like, right at the start of this chapter, that Rose says, like, I had no time to mourn what just happened. I just need to act. I think really colors what these two chapters are, and probably the next chapters as well, of who we know Rose is. Of, like, I need to bury this.
Right.
I am just in adrenaline mode right now, and that's absolutely going to bite me in the ass later.
Right. Because we also finally get, like, and we saw this in a little bit in the last chapters, too, but especially now of, like, we get Rose back, in a way. Yeah. Like, you can see her actually thinking through things, acting mostly on instinct, but, like, in a way of survival, right? And not in a way that's, like, you know, burdened to someone else, or in a way that's only in relation to someone else. Like, she is thinking for herself finally, which she has always done, besides Lissa, in terms of instinct and protection and moving forward. And this is like the first time in a really long time where we've seen her be like, this is Rose. Like, this felt like reading Rose again, which was very exciting to see.
Yeah.
She, like, goes over to Dimitri, who's, like, fucking passed out on the floor or whatever, pockets, you know, keys, crucial.
Checks for loot.
Checks for loot and get some cash, too, which, because, also, this is a funny note that, like, her money from Adrian did get, like, stolen from her, like, taken from whoever the fuck, one of the vampires, whoever, or one of the Strigoi. So she's like...
I do love that.
And she was like, you know what? Right, she's like, you know what? I'm gonna take this cash and just, like, do something with it. Whatever. I might need it later. Fuck you. I'm out of here, okay? And also she, like, picked up some jewelry, too, which is great, because she's like, I'm in Russia. I can just, like, pawn that off if I need to. Which, like, go off, Rose. Businesswoman. We love to see it.
Yeah, she's smart. She knows that she's gonna need money wherever she's trying to get to, so she knows.
Right. So, like, she goes over to the suite door. She punches in the code. Great. Fabulous.
This is why I hate escape rooms.
Right.
This, right here.
Right, yeah.
Time limits.
Yes.
Numbers.
Right, because she's like, I have, like, max 5 minutes to at least get out somewhere. Doesn't have to be fully outside this place, but, like, Dimitri's gonna wake up in, like, 5 minutes and gonna be gunning for my ass, and he's much faster than me and much stronger than me, so I have to figure something out. So she, like, figures out the first code.
And there's vampires on both sides here.
Right, there's vampires
but she knows,
fucking
like,
everywhere.
Dimitri I cannot defeat. The other people on the other vampires on the other side, I can probs get through.
Right.
I'd rather deal with them.
Right. And so she, like, gets through and she's like, okay, now there's this second door that also requires a code, and Inna told her both codes, but they were all, obviously it was a very tense moment. It's been a couple minutes since then. Like, obviously she has other things on her brain right now.
Right.
It's kind of a little fucky, and she's not getting the second code right, and she's like, fuck, like, maybe the numbers were jumbled in my head. I think it's mostly a memory error. Fuck, like, I'm fucking this up. I don't have time. What the hell do I do?
Also, remember that she's still in that fucking sweater dress.
Yes,
right now.
A crucial detail. Yeah, she is still just, like, in a casual little sweater dress as she's fighting for her fucking life.
Like the girl in Brave. It's, like, green. Like, she's chilling.
Yeah.
In a dress. Trying to fight through all this.
Right. And then she was like, oh, shit. Maybe I had the last two numbers reversed. And no, she did. And she's like, bet. Got it. I'm in. Let's go. And then, more security. Again, this is like layers and layers and layers of, like, a maze, essentially, of bullshit that she has to go through.
So one thing that we do know about Galena, like, she loves a hedge maze outside.
Right.
She loves mazes inside.
She loves
her house.
making a fun little experience for her prisoners. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like,
she probably likes Sudoku. This woman's boring.
Right. And so she goes out to this after the second door, and there's Marlin, who was the Strigoi who
she told.
Right, she was like...
to find Dimitri way back.
Right, she was just being like, obviously has a terse relationship with. So she's like, uh-oh, this sucks for me. Shit. And incredibly beautiful combat writing. Love to see it. Because she's like, again,
it's so
back
good.
in her element. Obviously she's not like at full strength or at full health or like anything. But she has more of her sense of self than she ever has. And her actual wits about her. In a way that she hasn't for the last, few days, week of this experience. So she is, like, going for it and being like, fuck you, dude. I'm gonna fucking kick your ass. Eat shit. Whatever. Hate you. God. Just gotta get this fucking door open. Jesus Christ.
Yeah. It's also not great because... So Marlon he's gotten, like, a couple of punches in on her, but she's still, like, doing pretty good.
Right. She definitely has the upper hand here, even though he is, like, still going hard.
Right. It all seems to be, like, okay, when she starts, like, running down the hall, and she's like, okay, bye. Bye, Marlon. But then, I think she also starts to hear Dimitri, or she's, like, at least starts, like, thinking about him, too.
Right, of being like, my time is taken.
And then she's like, okay, before I get the fuck out of this place, I need to grab all of the stuff that they took from me.
Right. I gotta get my steak. I gotta get my
like
shit.
Some sort of vault. I need to get this thing.
I got my money somewhere.
Yeah. Well, because I need to get, like, my steak. I know that they don't have them here.
Right.
So I need to find mine. And she finds, like, just a human helper.
This dude.
And
this random ass dude.
Just, like, a guy.
Yeah, some guy. He's, like, carrying linens and shit. And is, like, spooked, obviously, by her presence. He's like, what the fuck? Who are you? Get out of here. What the... This isn't how this should be. I'm weak and a human.
One of my favorite things about this, too, is... So, when Rose had been trying to communicate with Inna previously, Inna, at least from what we know, did not speak English.
Yeah.
And so Rose had been trying to, what she says, attempt caveman talk with her. Where she was, like, saying... Like,
stick.
Like, really...
Points at the ring. Stick.
Right.
Magic stick.
So she does
Magic
the same
stick.
thing with this dude.
Yeah.
And finally, this dude is like, why are you talking like that? And says it in perfect English.
Right. She's like, are you fucking kidding me? God damn it. It's like, you should at least tell me if you know English. Fuck, okay? Damn it.
Right.
And so now she has, like, this kind of, like, pseudo-bestie for the moment, / hostage, of being like...
Hostage, yeah.
Hey, man, I'm gonna fucking kill you, so, like, tell me where the vault is, so I can get my stabby thing, okay? Is that okay with you? And he, like, begrudgingly does it, because also he's afraid for his life. And again, they go through twists and turns, mazes galore, like, roundabout hallways and shit. And they go to, like, what is essentially, like, an abandoned storage room full of magic loot. Because obviously Strigoi, like, can't use any of these things because it hurts them. So it's all just kind of, like, there from many... I would assume years, maybe decades of however long this commune sort of situation has existed. of people that have come in here, and they just throw it in there for it to eventually, like, expire and lose its magic and not be working anymore. So it's kind of like a surreal place for Rose to be in. And she finds a stake. It's not exactly her stake, but it is a stake. So that's great. We love to see it. It has, like, a embellished, like, you know, little initials on it or whatever, being like, this is my stake. And she's like, all right, it's mine now. Sorry. This guy's definitely not alive anymore, so I will take this. And
what I thought was so interesting about this too is like Rose is about to like go upstairs, where the guy like points to her like, okay, how the fuck do I get out of here? Right.
She's also crucially trying to find a place that's like not will have the least amount of interactions with Strigoi, right? Of being like, can I find a way the window? Can I get a way that I can just jump out and fucking figure it out from there? I don't give a shit. I just don't want to fight anyone else right now.
Yeah, I don't care if I like hurt my ankle. I just don't want to die.
Right.
And she finally asks like, what's your name? And he's like, Oleg. And she's like, you know what? Like, I'm getting the fuck out of here.
Right.
I'll take you with me. Like, I know other human, like, I'm not gonna kill you.
Right.
Like,
we're friends now, right? We're good.
And he's like, he looks at her like she's, you know, got screws loose. And he's like, why would I want to leave here?
Right.
And she remembers, like, oh, yeah, Sydney was right about that. Like, some of these humans would rather, you know, like,
live forever, maybe in servitude, than the chance of working with the devil or a vampire or something.
It's so wild.
Yeah, and and immediately gets shut down. And she's like, all right, lost your chance, bud, but have fun. Whatever you do here, my guy.
Cool, bye.
Right.
Have fun with your linens.
And so she, like, goes into this room. It's like a library. And immediately she's nauseous, which is, the one thing she didn't want to feel when she was making her big escape. And, guess who it is? Galena. Fuck. Okay, that sucks. Queen Bee right here.
She's just been, like, chilling there reading a book.
Chilling with, like, a fucking coffee table book, just, like, perusing, and being like, oh, there you are. Stab. Like, I'm gonna kill you. And it's like, no. I hate it.
Just walked straight into your trap.
Right. And Rose, too, is like, did Oleg fucking set me up? And Oleg, obviously, is crying in the corner, and he is like, no, please don't hurt me. So Oleg not in on the joke here, not in on a plan here.
No.
So
just no thoughts in that.
Right. Vein. But, you know, bless his heart. We love to see it. And
it is
this fight is so
that is one thing. I mean, there's a lot of things that Ferrero does well. But bless her for not being shit at action writing.
Yeah.
Otherwise these books would be insufferable.
Right.
This fight was already rough enough between Rose and Galena, and then obviously Oleg is cowering in the corner.
Yeah.
Then homeboy Dimitri shows up.
Oh.
And he's mad as fuck.
Right. He's pissed, but notably does not go for Rose.
Yet.
Right.
Very much gives the, like, I'm gonna fucking kill you, but in a second.
Right. Give me one fucking minute, because I have to get my throne. He goes for Galena, which Rose, like, it catches her off guard, because she's like, I'm fucking toast. I'm out of here.
Right.
Because she was getting her ass beat by Galena, because Galena's very strong, very powerful, very good at the fighting.
Rose is exhausted.
Yeah, and Rose has been through it, okay? So she's not on her A game right now, but she's trying her best.
Yeah.
And Dimitri, like, gets at Galena and, like, holds her chest over to Rose, and it's like, fucking stab her, essentially. And Rose, at this point, is, like, trying to get an escape route out here. Like, she gets a chair, she, like, hits a fucking window, cracks it open. It's not, like, the same, like, industrial-grade glass that her prison had. It's just, like, a regular-ass window. So she's like, fuck yeah, this is my out, I gotta do it. And Dimitri fucking holds Galena out here like, kill her.
This is so tough.
Yeah.
Because it's very clear when reading this that Rose thinks, like, if they, like, I need them to keep fighting.
Yes.
Because if they are distracted, they won't notice, one,
that I'm
leaving. They don't seem to notice that I'm breaking this window.
Right.
But they also aren't noticing that, like, I'm trying to escape.
Right.
So, I'm not gonna do anything.
Right.
Here.
Yeah, she's like, this sucks.
It also, it doesn't seem like she really gets a choice,
Right.
To make a decision on Galena, because Nathan and then Marlon also come in, and they're like, what? You guys are fighting and you didn't invite us?
Oh my god, guys, are we supposed to do this together? It's like our fun party Friday trick. Like, what? Right. This is rude. We should have put this on the calendar. Guys.
Right. And, which is really, like, exactly what Rose needs.
Yeah.
To be like, girl, go.
Right. Yeah, exactly. I mean, she does stake Galena. Like, she does
stake her.
Because she's like, at this point, you know, there's something pulling on her, not just like Dimitri being there, but her being like, fuck it. If one of these bitches are gonna die tonight, and I have a handle in any of them, and I have an opening right fucking here, I'll get Galena out, and at least that means this whole interaction, however it is working currently, won't work at least for a little bit longer, you know? And I can at least live with that consciousness.
Of them are going to be fighting for
power. And so they're going to fucking kill each other, and I can get out of here, but Galena for sure can go, and we have an out, so I'm going to kill her, and she does.
Right. Still enough of a distraction for her to try and, like, jump out of this window and dip out.
Fully bust her ass getting out there. Because it is a long way down that she falls. She totally fucks her ankle up. It is, like, 2 stories? It's like it's an intense jump, and she like lands in the bush. It's not great. She yells a lot of obscenities.
She didn't, like, break her neck.
Right. It could have been worse, but it was still quite bad.
Yeah, it seems like she didn't break it. She just sprained it.
Right.
Which he's still like, okay, well, I'm still in full adrenaline mode.
Yeah.
It hurts, but I need to keep going. So
right. So chapter
on to the creepy hedge it is.
Right. Chapter 26, we're in Hedge City, baby. It's escape time.
It's my nightmare.
It's awful. Because she's like, shit, I'm out, but also there are giant hedges all around the perimeter here. And she even notes, too, that she's like, I don't even think this was for, like, a defense thing. I think Galena just wanted this because it looked cool. Because it's like... Because she's a fucking nerd and loves mazes. And that sucks, because I need to figure out how the fuck to get out of here. And also, I'm running on, like, 10% right now. I'm not doing hot, okay?
Yeah, because she's out of the house, big step.
Right.
But she's not off the property.
Right.
And now she has to deal with, unfortunately, after she hears his voice, that Dimitri is in the bushes somewhere.
Right. Which, like, god damn it. Because Rose...
This is why I don't trust hedge mazes. This is what I'm always afraid
You never know who could pop out there. Right. They can always just be around the corner. You never know. Especially one that you used to be lovers with and now is trying to kill you / turn you into an undead vampire.
And is saying creepy shit like, I know you're out there, I can smell you.
Right.
Ew.
And Rose, like, obviously, as one does in this very tense environment, and also being trapped in a circuitous hedge mage, is like, what if I just live a different life? God, I'm gonna pray. I'll join a covenant, maybe. I'll donate Adrian's money to charity. I'll be a better person. Just, like, please
just get me out of here.
Get me out of here, because honestly, this feels like the only thing I have left right now, and that's saying something, because I never talk to God.
Honest to God, audience, you know what the fuck happens after that? She gets picked up by aliens. And it's so weird.
Yeah, and the book is over, and then we don't have to think about this ever again. It's done. We did it. Congratulations, everyone.
It's so weird. Frero, out of all of a sudden, like, fourth book in, drops the alien.
Like, I've been waiting for this one. I'm just waiting for the right moment to drop this shit in. Hedge maze? Let's go.
I would have loved that.
Yeah, just a UFO? Fuck yeah, we love to see it.
Oh.
And, like, Dimitri keeps, like, taunting.
The worst.
And, like, so it's clear now that he obviously survived and killed the others that were in there. Nathan,
fucking dude's unkillable. I don't get
it. It's kind of fucked up, actually. And he's like, bestie, I won now. I'm gonna be the leader of this place. You should join me. It's gonna be so sick. It's gonna be so girl boss and amazing. Yes, let's do it. But, like, in a much creepier, evil way. But just, like, imagine that energy. And it's awful. And this poor girl is still just trying to get to this fucking maze. Being like, can I find any fucking exit? It's not, like, and it's, like, noticing, like, how her nausea changes of how close he is. And, like, if she's on the right side or the wrong side. Or if she's, you know, because obviously Dimitri knows this maze better than she does, and she's just, like, going, not knowing anything, right? And
I know I have said this so many times, and I have been hyperbolic about it. This is, no joke, my biggest fear.
Yeah.
Like,
this chase is awful. I hate it.
This is very close to, like, I remember I unfortunately saw The Shining way too young.
Sure, yeah.
And I think that's where this came from, of, like, being chased in a hedge maze is so scary.
Right.
For, like, there's a part where he says, even if you get out, where will you go? Like, we're in the middle of nowhere.
Right. And being like, you know what? And also taunting of being... like, you are still, like, dangerous, you know, like, maybe we could do something really great together, but I also might just have to kill you, blah, 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 blah. Like, you can't just, you're not gonna run away to fucking the middle of fucking Russia and figure it out, like, you need me, kind of shit. And then, after that, turns out, oop, sees some fields, you're out, baby, you did it, you see, at least you've made to the end of the maze, we got it, okay? And there's, like, obviously a fuck ton of trees. It's incredibly isolated. No idea where the fuck she's going. But she sees this, like, purple glow on the horizon. And it's just like, fuck. I remember that. Because that's, like, the city lights.
That purple light.
Right, that's right. I want it. I need it. that purple light. That's the city. Like, that at least will give me to civilization. I could get to a phone or a car or a bus or whatever.
French fries.
I can go to a fucking Jimmy John's. Like, maybe, I don't know.
Oh my
God. I can just, I am free, or at least see something. Like, it seems very far away. Like, it's quite in the distance, but she at least has a trajectory of where to go, which is helpful.
Yeah.
And so she's running. Mind you, her ankle is still busted as hell.
She's in a sweater dress.
Fighting. She is not at 100.
What feels like hours at this point.
Right. But she's like, fuck it, this is my chance. And that's the green line at the end of the dock here, so I am going to run for it and figure it out. And she keeps noticing, like, the nausea grow and grow. But she doesn't see Dimitri. She's also, like, not looking back, so, you know, mess up with her time. She has to keep focused and keep going forward, right? And she gets into this, like, moment of trees and stuff where she kind of, she hears Dimitri's voice, so she knows that, like, he's out of the maze at some capacity, but doesn't know where he is.
Yeah.
And then
she keeps hearing him, and he's like, Rose, I swear it's not too late.
Right.
And then finally finds that tree and, like, goes up into
it. Right, because she thinks of Tasha and is like, wait a minute, that was, like, a good piece of advice of taking on someone. Like, what if I get into a tree? Element of surprise, baby. And because she knows she can't outrun him, especially in her current state. But it's like, I can freak him out, or at least jump scare him, and do something that way. And so she's like,
she learned that from Five Nights at Freddy's. She was ahead of the time.
Right, she was right, yeah. Yeah, she's a gamer girl. We do know that about her, famously.
She actually invented Five Nights at Freddy's.
Right, she created the lore, so you can thank her for all of that. All those video essays. So she's like, she's in this tree, and a few moments pass, and Dimitri is, like, walking slower and slower and slower, closer. So she's waiting for him to, like, get just past so she can, like, go over and jump him. And she does, essentially. Like, he is also, like, kind of, like, looking up at the same time, which was very interesting timing.
So spooky.
Very spoopy, but she was planning enough beforehand that, like, she does catch him off guard.
Yeah.
Which is great. She's not, like, able to, like, fully stake him, but she is, like, making contact. Yes. We loved, yes.
I think she gets his, like, cheek or
She gets, like, his cheek. You know, you can tell he's, like, visibly and physically also strained from the fight that he just did with the two other vampires. So it's, like, obviously, they're not both at their number one game right now, but they are being both very passionate about this particular fight. Which breaks my heart. I hate to see it. Oh, it's fucked.
It's also, I will say, I laughed and I shouldn't have at this point. So she keeps, like, running, right? And she does, like, she falls down this hillside and is just tumbling.
Yeah.
Right? Remember, in a sweater dress.
Yeah.
Right? And she falls into water.
Yes.
Like, fast-moving water.
Yeah.
And this is apparently the Ob, which is a river that, like, runs through that city that she was talking about before.
Yes.
She's like, fuck yeah, like, I can just stay in this, I'll get to the city, it'll be great.
I could just float around here like a lazy river and I'd be good, baby.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right?
It'll be dope. And it also, like, takes the pressure off of her ankle. So it's like, cool. Love that.
Right.
Now, she does say, in legends,
yes,
vampires couldn't cross running water. But that's pure myth.
Now...
So.
And Dimitri rears his silly head and is like, hey, bestie, you thought you could run away from me? And she's like, fuck, I thought I had it made in the shade here. I do not. Right. But, like, out of the corner of her eyes, sees something that maybe could possibly look like a bridge, and she's like, fuck it, I'm gonna take that chance right now. I'm gonna wait for Dimitri to start running down, so he's not, like, running perpendicular to me from the top of the cliff to the bridge, because that could fuck her up. So she's like, fuck, I'll wait him to go down a little bit, and then I'll fucking book it, right?
Right.
And obviously this Nasha is, like, super overwhelming, and he is incredibly fast and catches up to her, which sucks so bad. And keeps being like, don't you get it? Like, you can't win. And Rose is like, fucking kill me then, man. Like, you said you were gonna kill me if I wasn't gonna surrender to you, and I'm not gonna fucking do it, so do it, you pussy. I don't give a shit anymore, okay?
Because he keeps saying that, but then he's not doing it.
Right, he's kind of, like, backing on his word right now, and it's like, Dimitri, like, you were very clear, and obviously you don't want her to be a Strigoi because you love her, because you don't, because you can't feel love. So it's like, what's the truth, bestie? Like, what's going on here, okay? Fucking make up your damn mind, alright? And fucking this moment with the spirits is so...
Okay. This is wild.
Yes.
Right?
Because it's been a while since we've conjured spirits, you know? She does it very sparingly, for obvious reasons, of, like, the dark stuff, whatever.
Yeah, but she's in, like, this is final boss mode, right?
She has to pull out all the stops here.
Exactly. And so, this is... I can't remember if she's on the bridge yet, or if she's still trying to get on the bridge.
I think this is pre-bridge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So she pulls off Oksana's ring. Yeah. And it's like, all right, ghosts.
Come on in. Let's go. Come in. My army.
Because she remembers what Mark had said, like, the dead hate the undead.
Right. And they don't like Dimitri.
The ghosts just go after Dimitri.
Right. And they obviously, like, can't physically touch him, and neither can Dimitri. But it is enough of an annoyance that gives Rose a bit of a lead. And she's like, fuck yeah. Let me start running back to this bridge. I'm almost there. I can get there and I can climb up it or whatever. But obviously it's also taking a toll on her because she can see all the ghosts too. And it's obviously very annoying. And it, like, is very, like, mentally not in the great headspace to be seeing a bunch of spirits and being, you know, in a little bit of a different plane of existence when you're trying to, like, fight for your fucking life here.
Exactly. And I think that it gets to a point too where Dimitri is like, so tell me about the shadow kissed effect. And Rose is like, yeah, it turns out ghosts, like, fucking hate you.
Right, you kind of suck.
They don't like Strigoi.
Right, because she puts the ring back on when she hits the bridge, but also because of that, Dimitri's able to, like, not see the ghosts anymore either, so he can also almost catch up his lead, essentially.
This part when she actually, like, climbs up onto the railing sucks shit.
God, it's awful. Because, like, Dimitri, again, is playing, like, a jokey tone here, being like, that's kind of cool. It kind of sucks that, like, you won't have those powers anymore when you're a Strigoi and, like, cool as fuck like me. And Rose is, like, has been, obviously, for the length of this book, and even a bit before, has been contemplating her own death very explicitly, right?
Oh,
like, that has been a common thread of her...
I would say since Dimitri died in the last book.
Right, and even, like, her job in fucking service to another person, right? Like, she has always ready to put her life on the line for someone else. That is...
Yeah, I don't know that we knew a Rose that wanted to live.
Right, because it always...
Until...
Right.
I I don't know that we have, really.
Yeah.
Until maybe right now.
Right. And, you know, being alive has always been something that's, like, something she's doing. You know, not something she's super jazzed about, but, like, she has a purpose, or she finds other things that will make her feel like she's worth being around for, right? And in this moment, when she is given essentially the choice of, you're gonna get, you know, screwed by Dimitri and he's gonna turn you, or jump off this fucking bridge, and that'll be it, so you don't have to let him control you in that way and not be yourself. She, like, gets on top of this bridge and is threatening it, essentially. And it's like, fuck it. Like, because I have been very clear right.
of what she's doing here.
Right.
Of, like, trying to stand on the edge of the bridge. I don't think that Dimitri knew what she was doing, but it's very clear that she's like, well,
right.
I'm going to make him think that, like, I'm going to jump off.
Right. Trying to facilitate an emotional response. For sure.
Right. And if my plan goes the way I need it to, then I'll be alive. But also, I don't care.
Right. At this point, it's like, if I make out of this alive, great. But if there's any possibility of it not being like that, I've come to terms with it. I've already considered it. And that's something that's going to happen right now. And that's whatever. Yeah. You know? We're here at this point. This is the stage we're at.
When she asks him again,
God, the question. I
wanted to trade places. I wanted to jump into the river.
Right.
Because he's like, Rose, don't do this. And she's like, why? Why are you saying please? Like, why are you begging me?
Right. Why do you want me? Actually, Dimitri.
But the problem is she's not doing it in an antagonistic way. She's saying it softly because she fucking cares. And that hurts more.
It's worse. It's so bad.
And he says the same thing.
Yep.
He says, because I want you. And this time, she finally says, wrong answer. But before Ferrero, this motherfucker says, in her brain, I gave him a sad smile, wondering if we'd meet again in the land of the dead. Who wronged you? Who wronged you? I hate this.
God.
And then she just lets go. But, like, obviously, right? Because it's Dimitri and he's a Strigoi.
Yeah.
Like, homie, she's not dead.
Right.
Like, he was like,
pulls her by the arm, and it's like, hey, no.
Why would he let her make a decision?
Stop this. How dare you?
Which is what she was banking on.
Right. And she's like, fuck yeah, this is my fucking opportunity. And looks him dead in the fucking eyes after, like, struggling and fighting with him a little bit. And says, I will always love you. And then plunges the fucking stake in his fucking heart. The real, actual, God-given stake into him. And before he fucking falters, he says, that's what I was supposed to say. I need a break. I can't.
I need monetary compensation.
I'm sending an invoice to Ferrero Rocher currently as I speak.
Send an invoice, but before you do, double what you think it's supposed to be.
Yes,
because
yeah.
And he falls. And here's the thing. She says he dropped down into the darkness of the river.
Yeah.
I stared down after him, wondering if I would see him in the water if I squinted hard enough. But I didn't. So, here's my thing. Is he actually unkillable?
Listen.
Did it need to be her stake? Because I'm worried that he's
gonna come back in some capacity. Yeah, it does.
He's gonna be like,
right. Hey.
I look pretty good for a dead bitch.
Right. You thought you saw the last of me, huh? This is where I wish I remembered more of the later books, because I do remember this, but I don't remember if this is the last of him. But I also don't remember that it's not the last of him. You know what I mean? Like, it feels early, given we have 2 books left, and also multiple chapters of this book left, that he is gone, girl. But at least Rose has the satisfaction, for now, of being like, hey.
I did what I came to.
I did it. I fulfilled literally my one mission. It took a while. I had a lot of different roundabouts around the way, and some side destinations. And some trauma to go with it. But I did the damn thing, okay?
Also, secondary saddest part of this chapter is what happens immediately afterwards when she's just sitting on the road.
Right. Yeah.
Cause just like what she says, she self-describes herself as a feral animal when that old couple finally finds her.
Right, because she's like walking and being like, okay, I'm not going to go to the river again because that's way too traumatic for me right now. I'm just going to like walk by the side of the road and try to find the city and figure it out from there. And then she passes out, obviously, because she is exhausted, and just sleeps on the bridge or on the road. And this older couple,
and thankfully doesn't get hit by a fucking car.
Right, comes close for sure. But this nice old couple, presumably, sees her on the side of the road and is like in Russian, being like, "Hey, are you good? Like, where are you going?" And Rose is like, the least a bit of consciousness that she has is like, "Take me to this city." And they're like, "Fuck yeah, we're going to this city. Come on in. It's chill. We got this." And she like is obviously scared that she's like gotten to a place with serial killers, but she's also like, I almost just died tonight, so maybe this is fine. You know, I've experienced worse and I'm probably okay. And asks for a phone, shoddily, in Russian, and calls our fucking girl, Sydney. She's coming back, baby. We love to see it. Gone but not forgotten. She's coming back.
God. What a fucking action-packed
This was riveting.
chapter.
Yeah. So much happened.
Oh, God. I'm so stressed. Because now it's like, does she understandably go catatonic?
Right.
But also, we have Lissa to deal with. So it's like...
Right. She's supposed to, like, ostensibly maybe go back home.
Like a deserved breakdown.
Right.
But your Bond babe needs help.
Right.
So.
And then there's the Adrian and all the other fucking weirdos still at the court going on, the Avery of it all. There's a lot of mess to come back to, and I don't know if anyone here can deal with any of this right now.
Do you know what I can deal with, though?
Ooh, please.
Our patrons.
Always. Love that.
Do you want to start us off?
Yes. Thank you to Katie Black.
Ooh. Thank you to Kylie Minty.
Thank you to Alex Dornan.
Ooh. Thank you to Carrie Goldberg.
Thank you to Rebecca Cullen.
Ooh. Thank you to Jasmine Anastasia.
Thank you to Megan Pattinson.
Ooh. Thank you to Cassandra
O'Shea. Thank you to Clara Belikov.
Ooh. Thank you to Katya Karp.
Thank you to Hannah Dragomir.
Ooh. Thank you to Hope Castile.
Ooh. Thank you to Rachel Ashford.
Ooh. Thank you to Emerson Kirova.
Ooh. Thank you to Maddie Facinelli.
Ooh. Thank you to Samara Rinaldi.
Thank you to Genevieve Morgan.
Ooh. Thank you to Tess Avery.
Ow. Ooh.
Ow.
Thank you to Danielle Burke.
Ooh. Thank you to Kelly Beck.
Mom.
My mom. Your mom. Our mom.
Everyone's mom.
I'm gonna switch it up this time.
Thank you to Sophia Salinger.
Ooh. Thank you to Laura Forty.
Thank you to Dan Zeklos.
Ooh. Thank you to Maria Swan.
Thank you to India Peach.
Ooh. Thank you to Emily Ozera.
And last but certainly not least, thank you to Jaylene Ivashkov.
Ooh. So I found us a fanfiction.
Hell yeah.
This was written by Ms. April. It is titled My Precious Baby.
Incredible.
And it has over 23,000 words. Here's the summary.
Incredible.
This is an alternate ending to Shadow Kissed, and there would be no blood promise. Rose runs away from the academy holding a precious secret. Can Dimitri bring her back safe, or will they lose each other forever? This is in all caps. Summary sucks. The story is better. And this is from chapter 3. When I hit Manhattan, I headed for a diner. I sat at one that seemed relatively nice. I looked at the menu and chose something normal and cheap. Since coming here, I hadn't brought much money. The only money I had was the money I had made when I was in Portland. In Portland, before I was brought back to the academy by Dimitri, I worked a couple of hours after school each day. I would leave Lissa in our dorm room each afternoon to get some sleep. I worked for a guy that was a couple of years older than me. His dad died 2 years ago now. He had a steady girlfriend, but was on a business trip trying to extend his business. I worked for him as a PA. He needed help for me to file his papers and come with him to meetings to make some choices about decisions I would know. The money that I earned had lasted me a long time, but I needed to see this guy and try to get a job with him. He was my only friend in Portland apart from Lissa, and his name is Chuck Bass. I was going to look for Chuck Bass. End scene.
Yes. I'm obsessed. I need more.
Well, good thing, because there's 23,000 words for you.
I'm into it. I'm pulling this up right now. This is everything I care about.
So enjoy that. Friends, keep yourselves cool.
Yes.
And
cool for the summer.
Cool for the summer. Well, we are starting August when this comes out, and some people do believe that is the start of spooky season.
Okay, well, God bless you, I guess.
But yeah, God bless you all. I personally like to not sweat during spooky season, but chase your bliss. And as we say here in the Pacific Northwest,
get bit.
And get whipped.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Into the Twilight is an Earbud Media production. You can follow us on Twitter at Into the Twilight or on TikTok at Into the Twilight Show. You can find me at Cody Corral on Twitter and Allie at Alexandria Does. And you can support us on Patreon at patreon.com/Into the Twilight. We have merch, so much stuff. All those links are in the episode description. And make sure to rate and review us on your favorite podcast hosting platform. It really helps the show. Thanks. Bye.
You've been listening to Earbud Media Production. Earbud Media, audio for everyone.